right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about something absolutely central to our lives, our creative spark, our emotional world, and really our ability to just enjoy life. And it all comes down to one energy center, the sacral chakra.
So, let me ask you something. Do you ever just feel creatively stuck? Like you're just going through the motions, totally drained of any inspiration? Or maybe it's the total opposite. You feel like you're just drowning in emotions you can't seem to get a handle on. If any of that sounds familiar, well, you're definitely not alone. And we're going to get into why.
So what's the deal with that feeling? Well, according to wellness expert Abhi Duggal, who founded the School of Breath, the answer might just be hiding in our second major energy center. In Sanskrit, it's known as Svadhisthana.
Okay, so what exactly is the sacral chakra or Svadhisthana? Well, think of it as an energy hub located just below your navel. And if there's one word you need to remember for this chakra, it's flow. Abhi Duggal points out that its element is water, which is just the perfect symbol, right? It's all about our emotions, our creativity, and our ability to adapt, all things that need to flow.
And that's really the goal here, isn't it? To get things balanced. Because when this energy center is in harmony, life it flows. It's that feeling of grace and joy. You can express what you're feeling without it totally taking over. Your creative ideas just pop up, and your relationships, they actually feel fulfilling and nourishing, not draining. It's a pretty amazing place to be. But of course, that's not always how it feels, is it? So what happens when that internal water gets all out of whack? Abhi Duggal gives us a really clear way to think about this. See, it's not just one single problem. An imbalance can actually show up in two totally different ways.
The easiest way to picture it is like a flood or a drought. On one side, you've got excess water. This is the flood. You're overwhelmed. This can look like a lot of emotional drama, feeling super sensitive to everything, or maybe becoming a bit clingy in relationships. Then on the other side, you've got deficient water, the drought. Everything's just dried up. This is more like feeling emotionally numb, having zero creative spark, and maybe even a fear of intimacy. Do either of those sound a little too familiar?
And you know, this stuff isn't just in our heads. Abhi points out that these imbalances can actually show up in our bodies too. Too much of that watery energy could lead to things like swollen joints. Not enough? That might look like dehydration or even a low libido. It's all connected. Okay, so if any of this is hitting home for you, please don't worry. The really good news is that there are super practical, real things you can do to get back into balance. So let's dive into Abhi Duggal's toolkit for getting that inner water flowing just right.
The approach from the School of Breath is this really powerful three-part combo. These practices are designed to work together. First, we've got energizing breathwork to clear out the old energy. Then, a fluid yoga flow to get things moving again. And finally, mindful meditation to stabilize it all. This is our roadmap.
So first up, breathwork. The specific technique we're talking about is called Breathwork pranayama. A simple way to think of it is like a bellows breath. It's a really powerful exercise that basically acts like a cleansing pump for that whole pelvic area, which helps boost your vitality and clear out any of that stuck, stagnant energy. Next, we move into a yoga flow. Now, the key here isn't about holding some perfect, rigid pose. Nope. It's all about encouraging fluid, graceful movement, especially in your hips and pelvis. You know, that area where we tend to store so much blocked emotional energy. Poses like pigeon or a simple low lunge are absolutely fantastic for this kind of release.
And practice number 3 is meditation. And this is such a beautiful visualization. You just imagine yourself sitting near a flowing river. You let your breath move like waves, and you let your emotions rise and fall just like the tides. The real secret here, as Abhi explains, is to just watch them come and go, without grabbing onto them. It's a game changer for building emotional resilience.
Now, to support all these practices, Abhi also recommends using specific hand gestures or mudras. So for example, if you're feeling more on that dry or deficient side, you'd use the Varuna mudra to help restore that water balance. But if you just need a big picture boost of life force, what's called prana, you'd use the prana mudra. Seriously, think of them like little energetic tuning forks for your whole system.
Okay, so we have the practical tools, right? Now let's go a little deeper and talk about the wisdom behind it all.
This is where we connect these practices to a much richer, fuller understanding of life.
Here's a connection that I find absolutely fascinating. The link to our sense of taste. I mean, think about it for a second. You can't taste food on a dry tongue, right? You need moisture. Abhi teaches that it's the exact same principle for life. You can't truly taste the joy in life if your emotional world has completely run dry. You've got to have that flow.
And this leads to such a powerful insight. Svadhisthana teaches us that being spiritual isn't about denying pleasure or shutting down our creativity. Not at all. It's about refining them. When this energy is balanced, our ability to experience pleasure can actually transform into a kind of devotion, and our creativity, well, that becomes a beautiful way to serve the world. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a really powerful question from Abhi Duggal to just sit with. Take a moment and just honestly ask yourself, where in my life am I resisting flow? Where am I maybe clinging on too tightly? Or where have I just shut down completely? Because finding the answer to that question, that might just be the very first step to rediscovering your own creative and emotional current.